When I was growing up, my grandparents had this glass vase that sat on a table in their living room. It was beautiful. It was very, very old. It was given to my grandparents for their wedding by my great, great, great grandfather and mother. And it was a beautiful, beautiful piece of glass that they'd gotten in a very fancy place. And it was just stunningly beautiful. And I would sit and look at it with fascination because it was so pretty, so beautiful. It was full of light and color, and it was just gorgeous. And my grandmother would say to me, "Don't touch that. You might break it." And I'd get closer to it, and she'd say, "Mark, step away from that. You might break it. Don't touch it. Mark, don't touch that. You could break it. Be careful with that, Mark. It's very precious. It's very old. You might break it." So one day when I was, feeling much older, like I was about 7 or so, I decided I could pick it up and look at it because nobody was around or watching. So I walked over and I put my hands very carefully around the vase and I lifted it up and I started to look at it, and it was beautiful, and it was hollow on one end so you could look at the vase. So I started to pick it up to look at it through my eye, and it slipped out of my fingers and broke into a bazillion pieces. It was bad. It was really bad. There was no fixing this very old, very beautiful vase. It was gone forever. And my grandparents were very angry with me, especially my grandmother, because it was like this wonderful thing that was given to her by her grandparents. So it was really, really old, and I'd ruined it for her. And she yelled. She was unhappy with me. She got all upset, and then my grandfather came and put his arm around her and walked her into the other room and talked to her very gently. And they came back, and they said, "Are you okay?" Because they were worried that maybe I'd cut myself on one of the pieces of glass. And then we all cleaned it up together and threw it away because it was just garbage after that. And I apologized to my grandmother. I was crying because I was so upset about it. And she said, "Mark, it's just a thing. We told you no, but you did it anyway. And you know what? It's just a thing. What's more important is that we love you and we want to take care of you." And she forgave me. It was a beautiful thing that Grandma forgave me. In our story today, Moses has gone away. He's brought the rules of God down to the people. He says all these rules that they're supposed to follow. The first one is, make no gods before me. There shouldn't be any gods other than me in your life. And Moses went off and he disappeared for a bunch of time, a whole long time, like a month and a half, something like that. He's been gone. And while he's gone, the people have gone to his brother Aaron, who's the high priest, and says, "Make us a god." So Aaron takes and makes a god out of gold. Takes all their earrings and molds a small calf, a baby cow, out of the gold. And the people bow down and worshiped this thing. And Moses is up on a mountain with God talking to one another. And Moses says, "Ooh, those people, they're bowing down to this gold god. I'm going to go down and just wipe them all out. They're not doing what they're supposed to do." And Moses says, "Hey, God, remember your promise you made to us back when we were back in Egypt and before we got to be free? You said that our people would number as many as the stars. You made this promise, God, to love your people, not to wipe us out." And God's heart was softened. He looked down at the people and said, "I will forgive them." So sometimes when you mess up, it's bad. Sometimes it's really bad. But then always remember that there is forgiveness. That if someone truly loves you, they will forgive you. No matter whether you do something dumb like break the rules or break the beautiful glass vase that was given to them by their grandparents. Forgiveness and love are a wonderful thing, and they're a blessing from God.